what I would love to do now is take these conceptual ideas a bit closer to practical realities. And so for this, I'd like to first introduce Nadine, who will talk about how this all fits into the wider construct of what we call TX, and where we would take to next. As Amanda highlighted, it gives us tremendous pleasure to welcome you, not just tonight, but for the next years of your entire life here at QET. Nadine, as Amanda said, worked for the most prestigious institution when it comes to financial services. The Frankfurt School of Finance and Management was then in Switzerland, and then realized Brisbane is the best place to be. So please make Nadine very welcome.
So today we not only want to use this opportunity to talk with you about what we have done in the past, but especially where we want to go in the next years to come when it comes to research at the Cisco Chair of Trusted Retail. Before we start, I want you to think about the best journeys you had in your life. Those you share with your friends after 1 or 2 glasses of wine on a Sunday evening, and you just like to talk about them just up till now. And I'm pretty sure you have some things in common. We're probably quite young, had some travel destination in mind, but how we get there, where we traveled, exactly who we met, what we liked the most, what we enjoyed eating, this all came quite unanticipated. And I want to invite you to exactly such a journey, and this journey, or the travel destination we want to travel with, is Trust Experience, or TX Design. So TX Design is about creating, development, and designing trust strategies with the aim to create trusted consumer experiences for a world where trust and data intensity is increasing. And this intensity will increase to a level in the coming years that we are not anticipate yet. And that's why it's so important to think about those trust strategies. So why is this a journey? Well, this is probably not the best definition for trust design and for trust experience design, because we don't know where we will travel exactly. We have our first itineraries in mind, our first travel destination or stops on the way to trust experience design, but there will not be all of our stops. What we have, however, is a very clear vision of what we want to achieve with trust experience design, and I want to share this vision with you. So first of all, in terms of academic output, we want to be opportunity-driven rather than needs-driven. What does that mean? You want to see, once we have a certain layer of trust, what else can we achieve with it? And how can we build it with technologies? This is completely different to the prevailing focus of a lot of research that looks at a needs-driven design of trust, a hygiene factor, something that we need to repair often because we use technologies. We want to be opportunity-driven. In terms of education, we want to use what we get from our research and put it into our curricula and create the new trust experience designers and trust executives from tomorrow. Why is it important? Look what's happening with ChatGPT, how it could disrupt business models, what deepfakes are doing with companies. Trust will be your next most valuable asset. And we have to prepare our students for it, and with trust experience design, we will get exactly those capabilities and teach them to our students to be prepared for that. And lastly, we want to have real-world impact at QET, of course. And this means we will not only develop those strategies like in a benevolent paper, we will go beyond. We want to implement them with you, we want to refine them, put them into practice, but also find out how can we measure trust? How can we make all those things that we're doing not only a theoretical concept, but how can we quantify it? Something that is very hard at the moment. These are the 3 points we envision with our trust experience design, and let me show you what are our intermediaries for the moment in our journey to trust experience design. The first one is benevolence, what we heard today, but our commitment to benevolence goes far beyond of what we have heard today. We will continue to improve the strategies, we will implement them, hopefully with you all together, but we also want to see how can we harness new technologies to make benevolence even smarter, and we call this artificial benevolence. What is the aim and our ambition with that? We want to be the first maybe also the only institution in Australia or maybe worldwide that puts profit and benevolence into one equation. We will look at automated trust. The idea here is to think about, whenever it is possible with technological means, can we reduce the necessity to trust to a minimum, or maybe even completely reduce the necessity to trust at all, through blockchain, through smart contracts, for example. And this will not be the typical discussion about cutting the intermediary out. We want to look at, when we have a certain technical guaranteed level of trust, what else can we do with it? With the customer and for the customer. And lastly, we have interactive trust. It's the trust that emerges in the direct interaction between the customer and every organization. And it's quite interesting because we see some new trends here over the last time, which is that customers start to value trust more than convenience in using digital technologies. Let me give you an example. We're all quite comfortable with using facial recognition on our phones, to open our phone, to authorize payment. But when we put exactly the same technology into the retail store, use it as at an event to identify people, maybe to get access to a precinct, people will reject it and will be afraid of the technology. And in those situations, people value trust more than convenience. And our job will be to find out when, how, and why trust matters in those situations and what makes them different. Also, we want to educate the people and every individual to make better decisions when they are confronted with emerging technologies that they may not comprehend fully. We think 3 parts are very important for that. The first one is that we need to give customers choice. So for example, if you're a retailer, can you give not only the opportunity to identify or to pay via facial recognition, but also the traditional ways, palm, also maybe voice recognition by card or cash. So everyone can make a choice of the most trusted form of engagement. We think that also people need to be empowered to make better decisions, to understand what's going on. We have, for example, in the digital world, the concept of a cookie, where everyone can accept or decline data tracking and the tracking of what we are doing. We don't have such a concept for the real world. Although we have more and more video analytics used in public spaces, although digital technology is penetrating our worlds every more. And lastly, we think we need to understand the individual requirements for trust. So what does individuals and groups of individuals require in order to trust? And this will be a very powerful tool for organizations to personalize trust and to build trust with their customers. These are our intermediaries. Me and my team, we will embark on this journey very soon. And we would love nothing more than a good travel companion. So if you are happy and interested in those topics, please feel open and free to chat to me or anyone in the team. And we will highlight this a few times in this evening. Yes, so thank you very much. These are our intermediate staff, and I would like to welcome Michael back to introduce our panel.
Thank you so much.